Good morning, boys and girls. Today is Friday, May 2nd, 2025. It is day 19 of our life cycle of a chicken unit. There are 21 days in the incubation period of baby chickens. I cannot believe that it has gone by so quickly. Can you? We have learned a lot of juicy vocabulary words that you guys have been using in your writing as you've authored your own story called Let Me Out, about a baby chick that is inside an egg trying to get out. And you've written all about the changes that have been taking place inside his body and all of these juicy vocabulary words. Yesterday, we started talking about some changes we're going to be making in the incubator. So the temperature to this point, we have kept it between 99 and 99.5. Every incubator is just a little bit different. The one I had before this had the temperature set between 100 and 100.5. This one is around 99.5. So that's where we're keeping it for this incubator, the temperature. We also talked about humidity, which is the amount of water in the air. And that's what we're going to be changing today on day 19. So on day 19, something really cool and really gross happens inside the egg today. Remember, the chicken is actually facing this way because this is where the air sac is on the fat side of the egg. So the yolk is sort of floating around inside the whole time that the chicken is developing. This yolk has lots of vitamins and nutrients and very important things to keep, to help the baby grow, but also to keep the baby full after he is born. And so today, look what happens. The remaining yolk sac goes inside the body. Remember a couple days ago when we talked about his intestines floating out here and the intestines were sucked up inside the body? Today, all the rest of this yummy, delicious yolk floating around him actually goes inside his belly and makes him really full to where when he hatches in 2 days, he can go without food and drink for 2 to 3 days before he needs to. That's just another way that we have seen that everything that the chick needs is provided inside this tiny little fragile egg the whole time, right? So even inside the egg, basically, he has enough food and water in there to last for 2 or 3 days after he's born. Isn't that just amazing? So now he has oxygen, he has his intestines that were floating around, and now he has a belly full of food and water that he needs to be able to live for the first 2 or 3 days. The vocabulary words we're going to learn today are thermometer and thermostat. They're very similar. They're both talking about temperature. So a thermometer, you may have seen one like this, or the kind where they press a button. It's kind of like a gun. You press a button and put it on your forehead and read your thermometer at a doctor's office or at your house. A thermometer is an instrument that measures temperature. In an incubator, this was my old incubator before we got one so fancy. We had a thermometer that would register. See that little line coming down? And it had a flap, a little plastic flap that sat down in the bottom of the incubator, and it would register the temperature. The thermometer would take the temperature to the thermostat. That's our second word. Thermostat is a device that controls the temperature. So on top of our incubator now, remember we see numbers up there and we have up and down buttons. We can actually control the temperature by using the thermostat. The thermometer for ours is also inside the incubator. So the thermometer measures the temperature on the inside. The thermostat is the device on the outside of the incubator where you can raise it up or raise it down. Those are our 2 vocabulary words for today. I want to show you a couple of really neat things, and then we're going to get to the fun part about the incubator. This is our brooder box. We are getting ready. Now, we still have a few supplies we need to bring up here, but I'm going to show you 2 today. We're going to add our feeder. This is our feeder, and the number one thing when you get ready to have baby chicks is that you want to make sure that they are always safe. So baby chicks are extremely small. And we do not want them to be, this is our water feeder, we do not want to have anything unsafe in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our food in here, and we're probably going to lift it up on top of something so that they have to come up a little bit to get it. You want to make sure that your waterer is not big enough that the baby chicks can get in and drown. So you want to make really sure. And then these little corners back here, you also have to kind of watch them that they don't get back behind a corner and get stuck. So remember, they're very, very fragile, but this is our brooder box. We still need to add pine shavings in the bottom, our heat lamp on the top, and then we will be good to go. And we're also going to talk a little bit tomorrow about their feed. They have a special kind of food that they eat. Now, here's our exciting part with our incubator. Today on day 19, we have 3 days left. It is time to raise the humidity level and to take our eggs out and put them on the bottom of the incubator. So I'm so excited. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to set our lid over to the side for a minute, and we're going to get out all of our trays of eggs. We're going to be really fragile. Remember, these yellow trays are sitting in slots on the side. See those little slots on the side that we're going to lift up and pull out. And then when we get them out, see that grate down at the bottom we were talking about yesterday? We are going to pour a full bottle of water in our hole over here where the water bottle comes through down into the bottom, and we're going to raise that humidity level up. It has been between 50 and 55%. Today we're going to raise it up to 70 to 75%. See our water bottle? We are going to take this, we're going to unscrew the lid on the top, and we're going to pour it into our water holder over here on the side, and it's going to go past, let me show you. There's 2 different spots down here. See this spot right here? Let's see if we can get the grate up. See this first spot? This is what we have been filling up this whole time, this one little area right here. We've been putting our water bottle here, and it's been seeping over into this. Now we're going to pour this whole bottle of water in here, and it's going to go over this little ledge into the rest of this compartment and fill the rest of it. And that way, it is going to raise the humidity level in our incubator. So watch what happens. I'm going to start pouring. It's going to fill up this first compartment first, and then it's going to start spilling over into the second compartment. So we're going to put a full bottle of water. Do you see it? It's starting to fill up, isn't it? We are about halfway finished with our bottle. I have to pour kind of slowly so that it doesn't spill out. This is a small little spot over here I'm pouring into. But do you see how it's filling up the bottom of the incubator? So that's what we want to do. And then what we're going to do after this is we're going to put the grate back on. We're going to lay the eggs down on top of the grate. We're going to put the top back on our incubator, and we are going to open up that air vent that we looked at yesterday because we don't want it to get too hot and sticky in there. It's such a fine balance, isn't it? You want it hot but not too hot. You want it wet but not too wet. You definitely don't want it too dry in there because you don't want the babies to get dry and dried up inside the egg. But isn't it neat that what we're doing, all these steps we're doing, is actually trying to emulate what the mama does on her own in nature? How does a chicken with a very, very small head and a very, very small brain know how to do all of this stuff instinctively? How does the mama hen know that the last 3 days she's supposed to be really hot and wet and sticky? That's just amazing, isn't it? And then how all these eggs have exactly what they need inside them. All right, I'm just about finished pouring all this water in here. There we go. We got the last little bit of it. Okay, so this whole spot down here is wet now. See that? And what we're going to do is take our grate and set it back on the top. This is the spot that the chickens will hatch on now. Woohoo! And we're going to take our eggs and we're going to start laying them down on top of the grate. And hopefully in 2 days we will start seeing them pip and zip. And it's going to be so exciting. I can't wait. Now we have an incubator that holds 30 eggs. And remember, we started with 30 eggs. We had 5 that we got rid of. We had to discard them because they were not fertilized. But now we have 25 eggs that are fertilized, and we're going to lay them down up here on top of this grate. If you have to go over on this side, that's fine. The instruction manual says not to take out this little shelf right here where the yellow sleeves, the yellow trays sit in, because it can get some dirt. When they start hatching, it's kind of a mess in here because you've got little pieces of shell everywhere. It can get some dirt down there in that little spot right there if you remove that part. So see how important it is to read, boys and girls? Even grown-ups have to read every day to understand things and to know what to do. So we are going to put our 25 eggs in here. We're going to put the top back on. We're going to regulate the temperature today and the humidity today using, what were our 2 new vocabulary words? The thermostat and the thermometer. We are going to use those things to regulate our temperature and our humidity today. That was our water bottle that I hit off in the floor. It's okay. All right, so we are just about finished. If you are in 2nd grade, 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, I want you to take a look at what we have just made. We have made an array, haven't we, with 5 rows coming across and 5 columns coming down. And so how much would that be? 5 times 5. If you are in kindergarten, 1st grade, let's count by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. We've got them. Okay, now we're going to put the lid back on. And we are going to watch. We have a thermostat up here at the top that's going to regulate our temperature. We have a thermometer that comes down here in the machine and tells us what the temperature is. See that little black line hanging down right there? Our thermometer and our thermostat. Okay, boys and girls, it is day 19 and we only have 2 days left, day 20 and day 21. How exciting!